long as not gonna kill you, it's gonna make you stronger.
Purchase your tracks today.
All right, welcome to the HN vlog. Today I want to talk about a topic around media. I know in some of the vlogs I always talk about how important the media is, to really build a narrative around any subject. But let's focus on entrepreneurship because the media has a lot to do with entrepreneur going into the next level. One of my favorite platforms of seeing what's going on out there, what's working, what's not working, reporting on technology, so on and so forth, is Bloomberg. The Bloomberg show on YouTube, it's really interesting. They have really good topic and they know how to, select some interesting company around certain topics. But when you look, I've been following Bloomberg now for what? It's been like 2-3 years now. But what you notice, and what I'm saying today is nothing new, right? I'm not trying to mention about something new, but I think it's a topic that really needs to be discussed. When you look at those, media channels, whether it's Bloomberg, all the tech channels, you do not see representation of the world. You only see the representation of a certain niche of entrepreneur. That are usually male, white, and really, talking about their technology, their companies, and all those things. And you rarely see any other type of, whether it's black, Latino, Asian, so on and so forth, entrepreneurs in those channels. But why is that? And I'm not trying to sound like I'm a hater. I've been lucky enough. The media has reported on our tech. Or at least on our solution quite a few times. But even when we do our own reporting of our solution, if you look carefully, for those who've seen and for those who haven't seen, then you can check it out online, it's always focused around a specific aspect of the solution, which is how we're helping low-income people, which is a part of our mission. But that's the only focus. And I can tell you stories. I mean, it's just crazy, but I can tell you stories where we had, when it's recording time, right? And then they're looking, you tell them, yeah, this is what we do. This is exactly what we do for the urban saying, people will not be interested in that. Okay, cool. We need to see a woman with a basket on top of her head, trying to charge her phones. But what about showing the Wi-Fi solution and all the other techs and all the impact we have? No. We need to show more impact and all. So it's almost like you're getting diluted on what you're actually doing as a whole, just to focus and just to show this narrative of poor Africa, or this is a very low tech, not really high tech type of narrative, and which is unbelievable. And it took me a while to understand, because in the beginning I just didn't pay attention. I was like, wow, I'm in the news, I'm very excited, it's going to take me to to the next level and all. But when you start paying attention and start being aware of the question you've been asked and all those things, you start asking yourself, well, is this worth it? Am I contributing to this negative narrative of Africa? And when you look at African entrepreneur, and even though it's changing a little bit, but you don't see enough representation of African entrepreneurs out there, developing some high-tech stuff. I mean, you got entrepreneur building cars in Africa that you probably never heard of. And they're not big, they're not billionaires, they're not even millionaires, but they're doing it with extremely minimum resources. You got entrepreneurs out there building drones. You want to tell me you can't find some entrepreneur that building high-tech stuff? Does he always has to be, what you call, when you talk about entrepreneur is making shoes out of a tire? And I have no problem with those stories. I think they also need their shine. But we need to also broaden the spectrum of entrepreneur of Africa and show that we're also developing high-tech solution. We pretty much filling up the whole spectrum. But the real problem is this. The real problem is we cannot ask for Western media to showcase our talents. That's not their job. They're selling what their audience wants, and maybe the audience wants to see this, low tech, low income, so on and so forth. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. I don't do no surveys on that. But our own narrative, our government pushing technology of what's happening on the continent needs to push more of those, high end or low end that are African owned, right? Our own media. I mean, I look at some of our own local media, talking about Zuckerberg and Tesla more than local companies. It doesn't make any sense. We report more about Western technology solution and life in general than we do our own, which is unbelievable. It's unbelievable, man. So we need to understand how powerful the media is for the generation, to inspire the next generation, to show somebody like them that is doing something interesting, that they would have believed that it can be done. It inspires generation. Media is powerful. Thank God for social media, because if it wasn't for social media, and I follow this young guy, he called himself the Village Boy, and I forgot his name, man. But anyway, if it wasn't for him and his channel, for example, and I'll put his channel somewhere on the description. But if it wasn't for him, there's so many other entrepreneurs. He did a story on an entrepreneur building a high-end car in Nigeria. I would have never found out about that guy if it wasn't for him. Thank God for social media. But I really, really want to push not just social media people, but media in general, African media people, to make sure you represent, African entrepreneur. To make sure you understand there is talent on the continent. To make sure you understand that whatever story you put in of local entrepreneur, it's going to inspire somebody. You don't even know. That might come back 10, 15 years later and say, hey, if it wasn't for this media company showing me about this guy doing this, I wouldn't have done it, right? We need to understand how important the media, the vehicle of the media is for a country, a nation, or even a continent, right? And the inspiration, the message, the information that is given, it's so important, right? The representation is key. And if we don't change that aspect, then we're always going to have this, I would say, this mindset, this condition. It's worse of a mindset. It's a condition of this inferiority complex that we have, because we're not representing ourselves. We keep believing that everything from outside is better, and you can see it in our local media. You can definitely see it, because the topic that is, spoken about, it's unbelievable. And in all spectrum. When when the war of Ukraine was happening, it was all over the news, and yet we have problems in the region, internationally, on the continent and all, but you rarely hear about those news, but same thing on the technology side and all. We always reporting what's happening outside the continent. I just don't get it, so we need to change this mindset. Anyway, this is my take on this. Put your comment below, let me know what you think. But for all those social media guys and girls talking about Africa, and I salute you, man. Thank you so much, man. Take care.